Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Sifted Wheat Stories. I'm Gio, your host, and today we're diving into one of the most powerful segments from the latest interview from Joe Rogan and Jelly Roll, right? And this dropped just about a little over a week ago. And I want you to really pay attention to this part because it's not just about weight loss. It's about breaking the cycle of lying to yourself. I'm going to be at the 1 hour and 16-minute mark. Jelly Roll gets real about something that most of us wouldn't even want to admit, and that's taking the easy way out every single day. He talks about the critical moment where he had to choose between staying comfortable or facing his problem and walking up this huge hill in the middle of the rain. And I don't know if you've been keeping up with this story, but Jelly Roll used to weigh over 500 pounds and he's down 200 pounds. If you've ever struggled with addiction, prison time, job instability, or just feeling stuck, this segment's for you. Because what he's about to share connects directly to what it takes to actually change. So let's break this down. And if this video adds value to you, please like, comment, and share.
Listen to this right now going, man, I'll never be able to overcome. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
I promise you.
Can you walk? Then you can do it.
You can do it.
You can
Just
do
start
it.
walking tomorrow,
Yeah.
baby, and start going forward. And even then, it's your big goal. Put little goals in between there. That was another big one for me. It was like I had these big goals, but I didn't get, they were so far, I realized I'd lose sight of them sometimes. So you got to set them little baby goals in the middle. You know what I mean? Those little like, you know what, I'm going to walk a mile 5 days this week, no matter what the weather is. I'm going to walk a whole mile. I'm going to walk to my mailbox and back, whatever your starting point is. And then I encourage you to start making the decision that's hard, because me and Cam talked about this when we ran our 5K. There's a hill. My driveway comes down a hill, and you bust a right, Joe. And then you can go left into a neighborhood, the same run I run every day. Or you can go right up a hill. And it is a hill, you know? And the first day I came out and I looked up that hill and I looked to the left and I took 2 steps to the left and I stopped and I told myself, I was like, I'm learning about stories we tell ourselves. The story I've been telling myself my whole life was take the easy way out. My entire life, Joe. I have always looked for the path of the easiest, like A to B straight line. You know what I mean? And I was like, I break that today. I turn right. You feel it, don't you?
That's big.
Right there, big.
It's a big move.
Big moment. You're like, no, I'm hitting that hill. You know, because how big, fat people hate hills. We hate all that. So I'm like, hit the hill. You know, and I'm walking and I'm stopping. And I'm walking and I'm stopping and I'm walking and I stopped. I just kept going. When I got to the top of it, there was a telephone pole up there and I went and slapped it. And I felt so achieved and I came down the hill and then I took a left and I was going to go straight down to the stop sign and back. But if you take a left, you can go up another hill. So I was in my mind, I was like, I'm going to stop sign and hit the hill. But as I was walking by that other hill, I was like, this is the new you. You hit the hill, dog. This is the new you. Today is the new you. You hit the hill. Left, hit the hill. Come back down. On my way home that day, look up, see that hill. It's right by my house. I go hit it one more time. You know what I mean? And then it started becoming a thing where it's like, I started adopting that philosophy in life now, Joe. I hit the hill first. Whatever the hardest thing is, whatever scares me the most, whatever I think is going to be the most daunting of the day, it's like, put that on the table right now. Let me see that first.
And it makes the rest of your life easier too. That's what's really important. When you elect to make these decisions, conscious decisions to do a difficult thing voluntarily, you elect to do that, then the rest of your life becomes way easier. Because the most difficult thing of your day is always the most difficult thing of your day, whether you decide to do it or whether life throws it at you. And you can decide to give yourself some shit that's way harder than anything life's going to throw at you. And then the rest of life becomes easy.
It makes you ready to deal with life.
Earlier in the interview, Jelly Roll talks about the first walk that he took, right? And it was raining heavily that day and his family said, oh, don't worry about it. You know, you just do it the next day. And his family, you know, they already understood, you know, his failed promises that he would make all the time. And, you know, they weren't trying to be mean, but it was out of compassion and they've been disappointed before. He makes a decision that changes everything. He says, I'm done lying to y'all and I'm done lying to me. And this is the hinge point, right? This isn't a moment that he lost all the weight, but this is the moment that he decides to keep his word. What does this mean for you? Well, whether you're an ex-con trying to build a business, someone fighting addiction, or someone trying to get your life together, lying to yourself is the first addiction. We tell ourselves, I'll start Monday, I'll get clean later, maybe next week, I'll build a business next year. And every time we don't follow through, our brain records it. Your body learns not to trust you. In prison, you learn fast that your word is currency. If you say you're going to do something, you better do it. Otherwise, it could end in negative consequences. When you keep your word, it earns you respect. And that respect, because in that environment, is the only thing that's going to keep you alive. You can't fake consistency when you're surrounded by people watching your every move. And in addiction, you learn the opposite lesson, right? But it teaches you the same truth. Every promise you break to get high is a lie. Every time you convince yourself just one more time, then don't do it. Your brain stops trusting your own voice. You become unbelievable to yourself. So here's the real principle. Whether you're building respect in a cell or rebuilding your life in the streets, your credibility with yourself is everything. It's a foundation that everything else is built on. You can fake it with other people for a while, but you can't fake it with yourself. And once you stop believing in your own word, you've lost the game before you even started. When Jelly Roll took this first walk in the rain and he was coming back around the corner. He seen his whole family outside. They were clapping for him. And, they weren't clapping because he had lost the weight, right? They were clapping because he kept his promise to them for once in his life. In this interview, they talk a lot about, choosing the hard thing over the easy thing, right? What's the easy thing? Like for him, it would have been stay in bed, wait for better weather, go on the treadmill instead, listen to the voice that says, you can start tomorrow, right? But choosing the hard thing, that's getting up at 5 a.m., going out when it's 30 degrees out, walking in the rain, do the small thing that doesn't feel like it matters, right? But here's what most people don't understand. The hard thing is actually the easier thing in the long run. Coming from prison, I see lots of people that, getting out, it really is the hard thing. When you're in prison, 3 meals a day, do whatever you want for the most part, work out, get swole, learn an art, learn a craft, get good at something. I wrote a movie script while I was in there. And the thing that you don't have is the responsibilities that you have out here. I mean, there's been numerous times that I've had this conversation in my head that's like, hey, it would be a lot easier if I just went back to prison. I wouldn't have to worry about any of this. But that would have been the easy way out, right? And so every day I'm choosing the hard thing. I'm choosing to wake up, take care of my family, get my kids ready for school, read the Bible, get closer to God, pray to him when I'm going through struggles, having accountability partners, being honest with them, going to groups, talking about my problems, serving at the church. All these things take an effort. They're selfless decisions, right? Proverbs 12:11 says, those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense. And I think in today's world, it's easy for us to see the end goal, but not be willing to put in the work. I see a lot of younger people have all these great ideas and want all these different things. But when it comes to starting, they realize, hey, this isn't easy. This is going to be hard. And they quit. They quit before they even start. How crazy is that? And Hebrews 12:11 says, no discipline seems present at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. And in this story, the hill is discipline, right? It's boring. It's not Instagram worthy. It's not the dramatic transformation moment. It's just one step, then another in the rain when nobody's watching and it feels pointless. But if we're honest, that's where the real power lives, right? Proverbs 21:5 also hits here when it says, the plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to loss. When we're quick to get the end goal, a lot of times we don't see it out. But when we're willing to take the steps, right, and the plan that we create for ourselves, we're able to walk it out one step at a time. That's when these things come to fruition. See, Jelly Roll, he didn't try to lose 300 pounds in 90 days. He walked a half a mile. That's it. One small promise kept. Then the next day, another small promise. And the next day, another small promise. And that consistency over time is what transforms a life. And what's the lesson here? We got to start with what we can control. See, what Jelly Roll figured out and what I've figured out from my journey is that we can't control the outcome, right? We can't control in my business whether the first job lasts. I can't control whether that first customer is going to pay me. I can't control whether staying clean will be worth it in the long run. But what I can control is if I do the hard thing today or not. One of the guys that's been walking with Jelly Roll, Gary Breen, told him, just walk 10,000 steps and get in a cold plunge. And Jelly Roll, he thought that was insane. So what did he do? He made it easier for him. He walked a half a mile and did a 6-minute cold plunge. He lowered the bar to do something that he could actually keep. But if you ask me, 6-minute cold plunge is nuts. And what's the principle here? Don't aim for perfection, aim for consistency with a small promise. This is why my business works, right? I'm not trying to become the biggest contractor in Nebraska overnight. I'm showing up, I'm doing quality work, keeping my word, and letting that compound over time. So here's what I want you to take from this. If you're watching this and you're in the wreckage of your past, whether it's addiction, incarceration, failed relationships, or just a life that you don't recognize anymore, you don't need a miracle moment. You need one hard thing today. So what's that hard thing going to be for you? And you need it today, right? Not Monday, not next month, but today. We got to start now. Walk up your hill. do your cold plunge, go to work, call your sponsor, write down your goal, pick up the paintbrush, do the thing that feels pointless. Because I promise you, if Jelly Roll can go from over 500 pounds and being a drug addict to running 10Ks and performing at the Grand Ole Opry, and I can go from being incarcerated in prison, having a heroin addiction, to running a legitimate business, then you can do the hard thing that you're avoiding. And I'm guessing your family is probably going to be standing out there in the rain cheering for you as well. And let's remember, Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right?